Welcome to the My Inner Tiger podcast. I'm your host, Sydney D. Camella. I'm also a wife, mother, master life coach, course creator, and spiritual Sherpa. Over the past few years, I have overcome extreme anxiety, depression, addiction, infertility, and chronic illness. And as a result, I've made it my life's mission to teach other women like you that no matter what battle you're up against, you have an inner tiger, a power within to create and manifest whatever your heart desires. If you are tired of being a victim and ready to be boss of your life, you have come to the right place. Each episode, I'm going to share tools, teachings, and techniques I have used and taught countless other women so that together we can create a life beyond our wildest dreams. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that your inner tiger is just waiting to be unleashed. I'm so happy you've tuned in. Let's get started. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the My Inner Tiger podcast. As usual, I am so excited about my guest today. Her name is Becky Healy. Becky is a mom of three, grandmother of three. She's also a certified Dr. Sears Lean health coach. She has been with the company Juice Plus for over 20 years. And Becky says that she wakes up every day ready to change people's lives by getting them healthy and off of their medication using the power of plants. Love that. So, Becky, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you. I love being here with you, Sydney.
Okay, so I want to jump right in and start off by telling you guys how I ended up meeting Becky and what this podcast is going to be all about. So, let's see. Let me start by saying that when I first went to see one of the people that one of my holistic doctors, England Miano, she was on one of my podcasts previously. She got me introduced to a product called Juice Plus. And Juice Plus is basically a company who puts together basically fruit and vegetables into capsules or gummies, or there's also shakes and Anyway, it's a nutrition company that Becky's going to go all into here in a minute. So I started taking Juice Plus, not thinking much of it, just thinking, okay, got some supplements. This sounds pretty cool. And a couple months in, I started noticing that my whole entire body felt different. I had more energy than I've ever had in my life. My brain fog went away. Just everything felt a lot more clear. I had a lot more clarity. I was being more creative. I actually started exercising more and not like hurting, right? I started running recently, and I used to be a runner, but it's been like 4 years since I was running because my knees and my joints would hurt so bad when I ran. Just recently, I started running again and nothing hurt. Okay. So I started putting two and two together, and I'm like, this is all because of Juice Plus. Like I can say I probably have never felt better in my entire life. So I got really, really excited and decided that everyone in my family first needed to be on this. And then of course, my friends, and I started just telling a whole bunch of people about it because it's an amazing product. Okay. So then it just so happens that Becky heard that I signed up to be a distributor for it. Okay. I did not sign up because I wanted this to be my primary income or just to sell people things. Not at all. It is a direct marketing company where, you sell it on your own, but that was not my intention. But Becky called me because she heard that I was a new person who had signed up, and she just wanted to like show me the lay of the land. Right. I really connected with Becky, and she started telling me all these crazy testimonies, especially her own and her mother's and her children's and then other people's. And just, I got so fired up about the power in this company and this product to change people's lives. And I was like, I want people to know about this. I want people to have this product. I want them to feel the difference in their lives that I feel. And I mean, even just in the morning when I take it, like 30 minutes later, I immediately just have more energy. And I'm not a coffee drinker. I can't anymore from my health conditions, just doesn't agree with my body. I don't have any vices to get me up in the morning. Like it's all just me. And this Juice Plus has totally changed me Completely. So that's a very long-winded intro on this, but when I was talking to Becky the other day, I said, Becky, will you please be on my podcast? Since you have so much knowledge about this, I just want people to know the power and the magic of this product. So again, this is not a podcast to just quote unquote sell you something. This is to inform you of the possibility of what's available for you in your health, and just to show you how much it's done for me and other people. So all of that said, Becky, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about how you got into Juice Plus, because your story is pretty awesome. And then I definitely want you to talk about your mother's story first and foremost, because that one blows my mind.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it still blows my mind. And I really do have, it's a culture of gratitude, because you go along, clicking along, you deal with all your vices and your hurts and aches and pains, and then boom, something happens. And so what happened to us about 20 years ago, my mom was sent home after 2 years of chemotherapy, really to die. The doctors were like, Claire Francis, you may have a month to live, put your affairs in order. And a friend came over with Juice Plus, just thinking this might ease her pain. She wasn't eating, she needed the nutrients. And what our friend Toy offered her was 30 raw fruits and vegetables and berries, the peel, the pit, and the pulp, just to get into her every day, really to help her to the end, magnificently, is what she said. But my mom was always a health nut. She got it and she started taking it. Well, after a couple of weeks, she wanted to sit up and take more food in. And then she said, I think I want to get up and walk around. Meanwhile, her whole countenance had changed. Long story short, she lived 8 more years pain-free. And then at 5 weeks until she died, that's when she just kind of lay down and said, it's time. It's time to slow down. What had happened was chemotherapy had not killed the tumor. So the tumor had quietly grown for 8 years, and you couldn't do anything about that. But symptom-free, this powdered produce was like a silver bullet for 8 more victorious years. Well, all of us sat up and got it. I had 2 boys, one on the autism spectrum, one ADHD. And with one of our programs called the Family Healthy Starts, you can sponsor a child to get Juice Plus for free for up to 4 years. That blew my mind. So I sponsored one child, my husband sponsored the other, and then we had a third one that my mom said, I want to sponsor her. We got all of them on. After about 2 months, the one on the autism spectrum was looking, who had eaten beige food up to this point, nothing green, even though I had put it on his plate. I didn't want a battle, so beige was what it was. He opened the refrigerator and was looking at broccoli and said, I'm going to try this. I'm like, oh gosh, this is not going to go well. He's going to hate it. I'm like, go ahead, buddy. He ate it and loved it, because, when you eat a cookie, you have sugar lapping against your back teeth. And so you want more sugar. Same with produce. It is a catalyst for eating more good things. So same with my other son, was ADHD, and he had brain fog. He was in 5th grade and he goes, I can think more clearly. Basically, his brain fog was gone. So looking back, their journey was better grades, better athletic prowess. All 3 of them played tennis very well. One of my daughter went on to get 2 national championships in tennis without overtraining. I can go on, but it has been really a secret weapon. With me, when I started taking it, my asthma disappeared after 2 years and my allergies lessened so much. So within the first year, we saved about $15,000 in medical bills, in counseling bills, on and on and on. It's been just a neat life. So I'll stop there, Sydney. I'm sure you have questions.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. So 2 things I just want to clarify, comparing our conversation the other day to what you just said, because these things stood out to me when we talked the other day, was that not only did your mom get healthy, she became a Juice Plus rep, right?
And within 2 weeks, she was still thinking, well, I might die, but I want to tell people about this.
Right. Oh my God. I love that. That's such a highlight of that story. And then also when you were talking about your child eating beige food, what she means is like pasta, bread, anything, carbs, all of that. And then what really stood out to me the other day when you were telling me, was that he went in the refrigerator he wanted broccoli, and the reason being because his body was used to getting this good produce in it, and your body naturally tells you what it wants. Like if it wants something more of something, it's going to tell you what it wants. And so for the fact that he was then craving produce, was just his body saying, this is good for us, we want more of this, right? So
Correct. This is called metabolic programming. And what you put inside your body dictates what you crave. And, if you really think about it, it does make sense. And I'll jump a little bit. The reason we sell Juice Plus in 4-month supply, and this just was transformative to my mind, kind of a paradigm shift in thinking. In 4 months, you're a completely new person on the cellular level. So I tell people you can turn off those cancer genes and turn on your Olympic genes. All of us can have Olympic genes. Whether we use them to the best of our ability is really what we eat and how much we train. I'm never going to be an Olympic, but I have those genes in me, and you do too.
Right. And I can say, if I look back, let's see, I started taking Juice Plus, now that you mentioned that, let's see, probably around July, probably like the end of July. So let's see, August, September, October. So that's 3 months. So I'm about 3.5 months in. Does that make sense? Anyway, whenever, I don't know, I'm not good with math here, but I'm about 3.5 months in, I would say. And I'm just now, starting to really put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh my God, my whole life, my whole body feels so much different. And to add to that, now I've been doing a lot of different things to heal my kidneys, because everyone who's listening, if you've heard before, you know that I went into kidney failure as a result of having my son, and my kidneys have only been at like trending about 13% function for the past, 2 years, or year at least. They've gotten better. So the past year they've been in and around 13%. But all of my acupuncturists, I have 2 acupuncturists, both them and my, who else? There's a shaman that I see every once in a while. He's like an energy healer, man. He's amazing. He's seen me, and there's one other person that's escaping me right now. 4 people told me that all of my kidney responses were amazing. Like my pulse strength for kidney meridian is like really, really strong. And it used to be very, very weak. So altogether, my body is just slowly like coming back into alignment, and it's just amazing. And the one consistent major change I made from a supplement level was Juice Plus. So it's just incredible.
I have an added story of myself that you have not heard, and just buckle up because this truly will blow you away. I have 1 kidney. When I was 6 years old, long story, but one of my kidneys died, and I only thought I would live till high school. But my mom was so good about getting whole foods and just really giving us as much as we can, much good as we can. But because we live on a polluted planet, and because our food growing system has been compromised, I mean, in a grocery store, items have been through 7 storage processes before they get to the storage or the grocery store. But this powdered produce, this Juice Plus, is picked vine ripened, shredded, the peel, the pit, and the pulp, and encapsulated or put into gummy forms within 24 hours. So it's the vine ripened is huge. That's when all the nutrients go in. Well, I started taking it 20 years ago, and I had a leg that at the time needed to be amputated. Or that's what the doctor said, in a couple of years, we're going to have to amputate this because of different things, stasis ulcers, bad venous insufficiency. My blood flow started getting better and better and better. And then finally the doctor's like, you're going to keep your leg. The blood flow totally changed. And so I was I have my life back. I have an Instagram page called Finally Alive at 55. And it took really 15 years for me to recognize what was going with my blood flow. But I will never take walking or running for granted. So,
oh my gosh, Becky,
yeah,
no
I
idea.
know.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Can
you.
you imagine having to have an amputation? That's just like, oh, that's rough.
Crazy, crazy. Yeah.
Amazing story. Thank you for sharing that. Um, okay, so let's talk a little bit about like exactly what Juice Plus is. You just touched on it. It's the Vitamin Ripen, but it's food basically encapsulated. So just tell us everything you know about the whole process, why it's so amazing, and then how it bridges the gap and like that whole bridging the gap part that's so important.
That's a great way to put it and just a good concept. So we've had relationships with farmers in, in the most fertile areas, and each batch is higher quality than organic. No fungus, no bacteria is allowed in. Each batch is tested 7 times. I mean, it's a very rigorous, patented process. In fact, we have more gold standard research than any pharmaceutical in the world. And that's really what I was looking for. I have more of a scientific mind, and people have asked me to align myself with so many things for years, but nothing has this research. So when I found this, I wanted to dig deeper. If you go on YouTube, Juice Plus YouTube, you can see exactly how it's made. So it's 10 fruits, 10 vegetables, and 10 berries. And they're chosen very specifically because all of them together in synergy do so much more than just the 30 there. They unlock your body to really rise to its full potential. Turn on, again, as I put it, your Olympic genes, not to go into any scientific detail, but it's picked at the vine ripened, the last few days of the ripening process. That's when all of the nutrients, all the vitamins really go into the fruits and vegetables, where in the grocery store, it's picked long before it's vine ripened. And so it might look or be sprayed the color, but it's not nutrient dense, where Juice Plus really is. And then there are facilities right where it's picked that it's encapsulated within 24 hours or put in gummy forms and then sent to the home office in Memphis.
Love that. Now, is
And
there
you had another question. Sorry.
Yeah, so the bridging the gap part. So I love this concept because, and I'll just touch on what I know about it. So every day we're supposed to have a certain amount of vitamins in our diet, and we get nothing like that. And I'm gonna have Becky jump in on those numbers. In fact, why don't you just jump in and tell us that whole
Yeah,
thing?
absolutely. Well, I was just listening to a Zoom call today from Dr. Kim Dalzell, who is a RD, a registered dietitian, and she works with oncologists, helping cancer patients get to the level they need to while getting great food in so that they can, cancer is like this tsunami, and Juice Plus is like the palm tree we get to hold on to while going through whatever you're going through to help your cancer go away. And it does so much more than that. But it Juice Plus bridges the gap between what we should eat and what we do eat. We should eat 9 to 13 raw fruits and vegetables a day. The average American gets maybe two, and it's usually cooked. And sometimes they're like, yeah, I had a fry, so I had a potato. Isn't that a vegetable? No. So yeah, maybe two. I eat really well, and one day I count, I'm like, oh, I get four. So anyone who has a mouth, as my friend Dr. Du Bois used to say, needs Juice Plus, just because of the condition our planet's in.
Right. And so when you take Juice Plus, let's say there's different kinds. I don't want to overwhelm anyone here, but there's the veggie capsules, the fruit capsules, and the berry capsules, and the omega capsules. Okay. So there's 4 total. The baseline are the vegetables and the fruit. Okay. And so then more recently, they've come out with the berries, which is really good for like blood flow, arthritis, skin, eyes, heart. What else is the berry good for?
Brain function. The berries and the omegas are so good for brain function, heart. Um, Gosh, I mean, brain is huge. Vision. The berries, when you're taking the fruits and vegetables, the berries essentially put the fruits and vegetables on steroids, because if you have headaches, if you have low blood flow, that's what the berries. Berries are vasodilators. They oxygenate the blood. They help it flow cleaner, um, with more oxygen, and they help all the nutrients get to where they need to. Omegas, and our plant-based omegas have all of them, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, all the omegas in there, but we bypass the fish. We say we bypass the middle fish, which might have mercury or contaminants. So these are all from plants. And research is being done and has been done on these omegas, and they are the top of all the omegas. They're like the gold standard of them.
Right. And so, okay, so let's go back to like, just to make it simple. So we've got the fruit and the vegetables are the basic, like they're the baselines. If you wanted to just start really small, you would start with the fruit and veggies. And then the next, like she said, the berries are like putting the fruit and veggies on steroids, and the omega is just like an extra topper for tons and tons of health benefits. So I take all four. But if you wanted to just start small, you would still see major benefits with just the fruits and the vegetables. Okay. And so they come in capsules. They also come in gummies, which are great, especially for kids or anyone who has trouble swallowing capsules. They also make things like shakes, which I definitely take, protein bars or bars, just nutrition bars. What else do they have, Becky? Anything else?
We have a tower garden, which you can grow. Oh my goodness. This Disney invented this tower garden. It's aeroponic. It's one step above hydroponic. But if you have a plug, you can grow your own food. And again, it's Disney. So they developed the perfect tower tonic. Each little pod that you plant lettuces or herbs or even flowers in, edible flowers, but we have ours growing all year round. Each pod yields 33% more than land, and it's uses 90% less water. It's great for the environment, and it grows twice as fast. So University of Mississippi has done studies on this tower garden, and everybody's blown away. We're open in Canada now. We're starting to get them in Europe. But everyone who sees them, again, are just blown away by how easy it is. We have them in your kitchen. They're grow lights. So you don't have to question where your food source comes from. It's safe. It's higher quality than, organic. And with the shakes, now I gave the shakes to my kids for breakfast because it's true, fast food is good for you if it's the right fast food. So, a shake takes 30 seconds to blend up. We would put a handful of spinach in it. It's 100% bioavailable, as all of our products are, which means your body uses everything, and what it doesn't need, you excrete or pee out. And so the shakes are macronutrients. The capsules and gummies are micronutrients. Your body needs all of it to really be the oil and the gasoline for your body.
Okay, yes. So back to the tower garden. The tower garden is awesome. Now, if anyone's been online or on social media, if you're anything like me, you've been getting tons of like ads or seeing people growing their own food for these new tower garden type of deals. It's basically like this big tower with all these different holes in it, and it grows vegetables or whatever the heck you want to grow out of these holes, and you can do it inside or outside of your house, right? You just have to plug it in, and it has like lights, and I guess you put water in it? You just put water in it, Becky?
Yeah, it has a 20-gallon water tank. The one for inside is a 13. Oh gosh, it's a smaller tank. It might just be 5. I think it is 5. This is newer out. And it grows these little microgreens on top, but lettuces and herbs and chives and a plethora of just not root vegetables, but basically anything else.
And they grow like tomatoes or anything like that?
Oh my goodness, the tomatoes are the best I've ever had. Honestly, all the produce is the best I've ever tasted. So we cut our salad. I have 7 different varieties of lettuce. I have chives. I have lavender growing. Arugula. I have wasabi arugula, which will blow your mind. And I put it all in my salad, and people will come from all over the neighborhood to have one of my salads.
Wow, I'm sure. Yeah, so this is definitely on my list of things to buy in the very near future, especially, I mean, who doesn't need this right now with the uncertainty of the world and, not knowing if our supply is gonna go down with all of the, protests and all of that. So this is like the best way to guarantee that you have food in your house no matter what. And I love that it grows like twice as fast. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's incredible. I maybe almost twice as fast. I don't want everybody to think, oh, it's twice as fast. Maybe almost twice as fast, but
Yeah.
it does grow faster and 33% more per pod or per plant, which is just awesome.
Yeah, that's funny. Little side note: my mom and I have been working. And my husband and I have been working on a compost pile in our backyard for the last few months, planning on planting this immaculate garden that's in our brains, or in our vision boards. Um, but we wanted to do a raised bed garden, and like every week keeps passing by, we're like, we haven't done the raised bed. We haven't gotten the raised bed garden yet. What the heck? We have this big ugly compost pile in our backyard.
Here's a side note. We have tried raised beds, and I mean, please do a raised bed, but also get a tower garden.
Yeah.
Am a confirmed black thumb. So it is just cracking me up that in my city, I'm the tower garden expert. Everything is beautiful. You can't kill it. And it just makes me kind of proud. It shouldn't. It's, idiot proof, but it's stupid easy to use.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. So, all right. So let's go back to Juice Plus, because all of it's my favorite, but I really just I want to hear more testimonies, about people whose, lives have changed or health has changed or medications they've gotten off of or whatever. Like, what comes to mind as some memorable testimonies that you've seen in your last 20 years for Juice Plus and how it's changed people?
Oh my goodness. I hear again and again, and really on Facebook too, just how people have gotten off of ADHD medication, autism. In fact, one of my stories, by the time my kid that was on the autism spectrum went to college, he was no longer on that spectrum. And I remember the lady who evaluated him um, when he was young, looking at the two evaluations going, this isn't the same child, but I know it is because I tested him. I was the one who did both of them. She goes, I've never seen anything like this. And of course she's on Juice Plus now and recommends it. But we hear that from a lot of other people. Heart medication, again, our goal is to under promise but over deliver. So when people say, what's going to happen to me when I take Juice Plus? There are some things I can say the research proves that it helps protect your DNA. By the way, there's nothing else on the planet that can claim to do that. But fruits and vegetables and this powdered produce does that. It helps protect your DNA. It's good for heart health. It's good for brain health. But everybody's story is their own. So I'll say, authentically, I don't know what it's going to do for you, but I can promise it's going to do good things. And it's going to help metabolically give you a different appetite for food. Your metabolic programming will be completely different. So it's gotten people, some of my friends, off of asthma medication. It hasn't, some still take a low dose. Again, everybody's different. Every single person has a different response. But when your mom told you eat more fruits and vegetables, she knew what she was talking about. And I would say, look at the research and ask people their story. I love hearing stories. I will share one. And this is when I first found out about it. I went to a conference, just seeing, I'm skeptical. So I'm like, who are these people? What are they going to be saying? This was in California, and there was an Amish woman there. There were a lot of Amish people that I was like, interesting. They farm and eat the best food in the world. Why are they into Juice Plus? Well, I slipped away. There were probably 5,000 people there, and I wanted to go to a bathroom that didn't have a long line. So I found one, and there was a lady there named Sarah nursing a baby. And so I just got bold and went and asked her, why Juice Plus for y'all? She says, well, my husband had a heart issue and we had to go into the town and find a doctor. And he said he would need surgery in a year. Well, somebody in our community shared Juice Plus with us and he started taking it. she was nursing her 8th baby. Okay. She looked like she was, young and fit and just, they bounce back because of the food they eat. She said, and this baby, I didn't know it, but all of my other kids apparently were learning delayed. This one is, his milestones were faster. He's brighter. He is, I had the best pregnancy with him because when they started taking, she, had just gotten pregnant with this baby. So he was a Juice Plus baby, beautiful, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. And then when they went back to have his husband's surgery, they rechecked him. They said, "There's no issue here. Are you sure this was you?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, it was, but no, it's settled." Is that going to happen to everybody? No. Again, I love under promising but over delivering. Everybody has a story, so just start taking it and see what your story is going to be.
I want to add to that. I forgot to mention earlier that my son, Rocco, he's almost 2, November 6th. He had really bad eczema as a result of a vaccine injury. And I've been giving him Juice Plus for just around about the same amount of time as I've been taking it. No more eczema, none.
Wow.
So I just, nothing makes me happier because real quick, I've taken him to the doctors, multiple doctors for this. No one's been able to tell me anything that truly helped. I've put different oils on it and, I've had him even taken him to the Chinese medicine doctor and I've given him herbs for it. And that may have helped a little bit, but the Juice Plus completely cleared it up, which just blows my mind.
You said something that prompts a reaction. Healing starts at the cellular level, and fruit and vegetable are the only thing that will repair our body. People don't realize that. They're like, well, we got to eat more protein or we have to eat more of this and that. It's actually fruits and vegetables that repair everything. And so that's where healing starts. Yes, you can put things topically on, but it has to start at the cellular level.
And health, food is medicine. Like we're so conditioned. I talk about this a lot in my podcast. We're so conditioned to being brought up to listen that drugs are our medicine. Pharmaceuticals are our medicine. If we have a problem, we go to the doctor. They give us medicine, pharmaceuticals. Very rarely do you go to a white coat doctor in Western medicine and they say, "Oh, I would like you to eat more fruits and vegetables, exercise, meditate, do all these things that are actually going to really help you, and maybe stop watching TV and, change your social media phone time, do things that are actually good for you." No, we don't get that. And so we need to go back to our primal nature, our fundamental nature, and recognize that the earth, the food, the plants are here to heal us. Go back thousands of years to the indigenous people and the herbs and the plants they used to heal everyone, right? That's all they use. That's been around way longer than any of the things we're used to seeing in our day today, right? All of this typical Western medicine, we're so conditioned to just going straight to the doctor when it needs to be the other way around. Yes, the doctors are great in very acute situations. I mean, they've saved my life. They've saved many lives, right? I'm not downing them, but we need to go back to our fundamental nature, which is at the core of Mother Earth that is providing us these nutrients that we need to heal our body. And I'm very passionate about this subject. And
I love that our company, our motto is inspiring healthy living around the world. And so we have thousands of doctors around the world that have come on board that say, we truly want to heal our patients. So we want to use Juice Plus in our practices. And so that's their front line is, okay, before I see you or treat you, I want you taking this. I want you taking whatever you can afford of this, but take it. It's basically $1.30 a day. Much less than a Starbucks to take the fruits and vegetables. So there's really no excuse. Everybody can afford it, but all the doctors are so inspiring. Fast forward to my son that was on the autism scale. He is now a doctor and he knows the good of Juice Plus. So he's in residency right now, but he said, when I, have my practice, I'm not going to treat anybody that is not on Juice Plus. That's going to be my front line of defense. And then I'm going to, give them what they need. But I want to work myself out of a business.
Love that. Oh, love that. I also want to point out just how important it is to consider the fact that we can say, oh, well, why don't I just go buy a bunch of food and get my nutrients from food? Well, that's great. I mean, we need to continue. Doesn't mean you don't eat fruits and vegetables because you're taking this product. However, the way that our food is grown today with all of the pesticides and the chemicals and the seedless, cloning and just all the mess, that the way that our food is grown today, especially what we're getting in the grocery store, is just not at all fully what we need. We've moved so far away from natural ways of just getting our plant from our backyard, right? And so, yes, it's great to still eat a bunch of plants, but you can never, I would say it's nearly impossible, especially in our society today where we have, we're working, we have jobs, we have children, to actually get all of that nutrients from food. And that's where Juice Plus is so great at bridging the gap. And they're also like, how would they compare to other companies out there saying they do similar things?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked, because I was thinking, I need to address this. There is something at Costco or Sam's called Juice Festive, I believe. You can't even compare it. It's basically fruit juice that they've mixed together. It has no research behind it. Again, research is everything. And no one can ever catch up with the 40 gold standard studies that we have on Juice Plus. The label might look good, but if you look very closely, it's not even on the same spectrum. But so thank you for asking. That's so important for people to know. You get what you pay for, but when you really break down the price of Juice Plus, people are like, this is ridiculously inexpensive, and it truly is.
Right. And it's changing your life. In my opinion, it's changed mine. Right. I just also want to touch on the fact that for anyone who doesn't know, Becky, I don't even know if you know this. We've recently hired a surrogate to carry our second child because my body's not strong enough to do that. And so, yeah. And, I have her, so we were talking about prenatal vitamins, and I was like, listen, all you need is this Juice Plus. You do not need any of this other garbage that's out there on the market. There's nothing as good as this. This will give you everything that you need. I have her taking ancestral supplements as well. That's a whole nother thing, but it's Juice Plus, basically organ meat from oh my God, it's encapsulated organ meat, which is like what the Vikings used to eat to be strong, to go into war. Anyway, it's a whole thing. And so anyway, and I don't even eat meat, but I'm a big fan of organ meat. I also take it. Another podcast. So, but that's all I have her taking, and it's amazing. And I'm like, don't even touch anything else. You don't need any of the other garbage that everyone else has needs. Just back to basic primal needs. That's all we really need to be at our peak and at our healthiest. So I'm super excited about that. Thank God I found out about Juice Plus before we started this whole process. So
I don't know if you know this, Sydney, but Juice Plus is the best prenatal. I can't say vitamin because you get vitamins from fruits or vegetables. It's the best prenatal in the world. And Dr. Doug Odom, you can look this up on Google, has done a retrospective study with his patients. He's a pediatrician, I believe in Jackson, Mississippi, that used Juice Plus, I think just the fruits and vegetables, but he had half of his patients take it and half take a placebo. They didn't know which was taking which. All the Juice Plus babies went to term. There were no C-sections. There's a whole list, and I don't have them memorized, but they were unbelievably healthy babies. And the statistics with the other one would be as you expect, different babies, some C-sections, some under term, just the difference was incredibly clear. And so there's more studies on Juice Plus in babies. I have all three of my grandbabies are Juice Plus babies, and they've hit their milestones early. They're bright. They're very vocal early with vocabulary. We can't say enough about the Juice Plus babies.
Right. I can't say enough about it in general, like truly. And also I just want to really highlight the importance of getting your kids on this. I have a picky eater. My son is so picky. It's very stressful. I don't know if you've had to deal with that. Or yeah, you did because you said that.
Yeah, I did.
You said that in the beginning.
Yeah.
He's so picky, and I just rest easy at night knowing that he is taking these because I know it's helping him grow. I know it's helping his brain. Clearly, it's helped his eczema, but it's just going to help him thrive throughout his whole life. So I love it. And I want to touch again on the fact that if you have a child between ages 4 and 18, you can sponsor your child for their clinical health study and get their supplements for free. Free.
For up to 4 years, even through the master's program. So even in college, we have college students sponsoring each other so that they can get it half off, but they can get it.
Right.
So even through medical school, my son, I got to sponsor him.
Yeah. Awesome. Love that. So yeah, so I guess you can be older than 18, right? So through grad school, as long as they're in college.
Through college or even
Yeah.
master's.
Okay. Awesome. Very, very cool. And I also want the last thing, and this is what earlier on when I said I forgot what I was going to say, Becky, I remember what it was. It's something that you mentioned the other day is that vitamins versus Juice Plus. Okay. So you can take like a whole handful of vitamins, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your vitamin A, your vitamin B, your vitamin blah, blah, blah. You can take all of those, but your body, actually, Becky, why don't you say what you told me the other day?
I will. Okay. Yeah. Gosh, there's just so much. We need probably 24 hours of podcast, Cindy. So let's say you're taking a vitamin pill and you only need 6,000 international units of vitamin A. Well, you're getting 10,000 IU, whether you need it or not. And that can actually damage body parts. I mean, that can damage your kidney, your liver. So vitamins can be toxic. With whole food, I had one kid get his gummies. We send them in month supplies. He opened a month bag and ate all the gummies. And the mom called me, do I need to take him to the emergency room? I'm like, you're going to see a lot of poop. But your body knows what to do. When you don't need a vitamin or mineral, you poop it out. And so the kid was cleaned out. He could have had a colonoscopy easily. But he was healthy and he wanted more greens and more fruits from those gummies. So yeah, a vitamin can be toxic. If a kid eats a handful of Flintstone vitamins, they need to be rushed to the hospital and have their stomach pumped. There have been deaths from vitamins, never from Juice Plus.
Right. It's just food.
It's food. It's whole food. And people will say, well, do I need to eat food before I take my Juice Plus? I'm like, well, it's really up to you. Do you eat food with food? So if you think of it, I'm eating a salad bowl and a capsule that totally trains your brain to really see it as it is.
Right. I also want to add, because I keep thinking of things that I wanted to make sure I say in here. And but okay, in my household, because of my kidney situation and just whatever the way that my body is, I mean, you have failed kidneys, you have a lot of other issues, you have low hemoglobin, you have just a lot of stuff going on. And so typically my immune system in my little family of 3 is the lowest. Okay. Not too long ago, this was like a few weeks ago, my son brought something home from school, of course, so just a cold, and he started feeling really bad. He actually ended up getting a temperature spiked for just a short period of time, like 102.5. That night, my husband got it, and this might have been a bug probably actually, because it was pretty hard and quick. My husband got it and he spiked a temperature of like almost 103. I was barely touched. And I was taking Juice Plus, like I take it the most like consistently, and I double up sometimes. And, I take a lot of Juice Plus because I love it so much. I was fine. And usually it is the exact opposite. I am usually the worst. Now my son's still building his immune system. Okay. But my husband is one of the healthiest people I have ever met in my life. He's insanely in shape and insanely healthy. He has the best diet, right? He doesn't take Juice Plus. He's still finishing off a bunch of other stuff that he's bulked up on a while back before I got into Juice Plus, so I'm waiting for him to finish that so he can start taking Juice Plus because he doesn't want to waste the money on everything he spent on those. But
That's funny.
I was the healthiest, right? And even before this call, I could tell last night I started feeling like a little, it could be allergies or something with the weather changing, just a little off, a little bit of like fogginess, sore throat-ish, nothing crazy, but I can like, oh, I might be getting something. And Becky reminded me, she was like, did you double up on your Juice Plus yet? And I'm like, no, I'm going to go do it. So I went and doubled up just before we started recording on all my Juice Plus. And honestly, like I feel great right now. I even had a shake. I had doubled up on all my stuff and had a shake, and I don't even feel bad right now. So there you go, right in front of us. Testimony 101.
No, that happens to me a lot. And yeah, I will double up, sometimes triple up. And then by the next day, I'm like, wow, what hit me? And I'm fine. So I have not had a true cold in years. Is that going to happen to everybody? I don't know. Maybe not. But that's my story.
Right. Yeah. It really does amazing work for your immune system too. So, I mean, I want to make sure we highlight that, especially in the world of COVID today. That's something lots of people are concerned with. This is the best foundation for building your immune system. I did an episode on lessons from having COVID, which shows a protocol I used for when I had COVID that actually worked well in addition to Juice Plus. I was taking Juice Plus at the time, but I also, the vitamin D and the zinc and C and all that stuff that would really help anyone with COVID. So just throwing that out there, if you want to know what that is, go listen to that podcast episode of mine, because it's COVID specific, right? For getting sick. But anyway, this has been an amazing conversation, as I knew it would be. Becky, is there anything else that's popping up in your mind that you think anyone should know or we didn't touch on about this amazing product?
Honestly, if anybody wants to call me, we'll have a longer conversation because so many things always prompt me, and I can't share enough about how wonderful and how different all of our lives. When we had kids, we had dreams for them, but some of them I didn't think would come true because of the limitations of their health and just who they were. And now all of those have been blown wide open. I have one National Merit Scholar. She's at UChicago Law School right now. The one with the brain fog, got his MBA at Chapel Hill, and now he's with Instacart Corporate. The one that was on the autism spectrum is a doctor. They are all incredible people, incredible athletes and musicians. And I don't think any of this would happen. I don't know if I would still be here if I had not found Juice Plus. So all of our limitations have been blown wide off. I mean, not just wide open, totally demolished, so that the world is our playground. And I can't stress enough. Try it. Just upload these fruits and vegetables and see what happens to you. But thank you so much for letting me share, Sydney.
Yes, of course. And I just want to reiterate that this podcast is not meant to be like a sales pitch by any means. This is just us sharing how excited we are about this. I can't stop talking about it because I'm realizing, after being on Juice Plus for a handful of months, I'm realizing, holy crap, my life is different. I need people to know this. My whole mission on this planet is to help people get healthier, to realize that they can heal their bodies and that we can do it with ourselves, like within ourselves. We have the capacity. We are not victim to our diagnosis. We're not victim to whatever the doctors are telling us is, whatever time we have left, or that we have to get a leg amputated, or that we have to have a kidney transplant. I canceled a kidney transplant. I said, no, I'm healing my own body. And I'm living on pure faith that that's going to happen. Every day when I go to every time I see my nephrologist, she says, you need to go ahead and get a kidney transplant. Why? Because she's coming from a place of fear. She's coming from a place of cover your ass, right? Make sure you don't get on dialysis. I respect her for her position, but she doesn't know me. She doesn't know what I'm capable of with the power of my faith, right? And so, there's things we can do to heal ourselves, and that includes supplements. That includes, what everything that I talk about in this entire podcast. So I'll just leave it at that.
I do have one more little story, and this has to do with my husband. And he has Lynch's syndrome, which meant early on that he was going to get colon cancer. It's killed 11 members of his family, Lynch's syndrome. He got it for the first time at 35. His mom was 26 when she got her first one, but by that time he had been on Juice Plus. After that major colon episode, actually, when he was on it, when he got cancer, that's when we started taking it. That was 20 years ago. And he, since then, he has not had one episode. The doctor, when he goes in, he says, "You have the most beautiful colon in town." All of our kids tested, I know, isn't that lovely? All of our kids tested positive for that gene, which means, according to the world, they will get it. But I believe you can turn on and off your cancer genes by what you put in your mouth, mainly Juice Plus. So by faith and through this powdered produce, I'm believing that they will march on and not have cancer episodes.
Yes. Love that story. And we didn't mention Juice Plus has been around for 50 years.
The company is 50 years old, the product a little bit less.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's not one of these fads, fly by nights that people will find little things wrong with them and the company will be gone the next year. The FDA recognizes us as one of the best companies in the world.
Love that. Awesome. I'm so excited and so shocked that I haven't learned about it sooner. Anyway. All right, Becky, thank you again so much for being here today. And if you guys want to learn more about Juice Plus, or if you want to purchase Juice Plus, feel free to send me an email, Sydney@myinnertiger.com, where I will put the link to my website where you can browse and see what you might want to start with and purchase. But if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to me, send me a DM on social media is probably actually the best way to do it, either Facebook or Instagram. And you can find those links in the show notes as well. And if anyone wants to get in touch with Becky specifically, I will put her email in there. And is that okay with you, Becky?
Absolutely. Of course.
Okay, great. And all right. Well, thank you again so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of My Inner Tiger. Before you go, check this out. I don't know about y'all, but I love smoothies. I've been making them every morning for years, and I'm proud to say I've finally come up with the perfect recipe that I'm calling my magical healing smoothie recipe. It is packed full of all the nutrients you need to get your day started off right, and it surprisingly never gets old to me. So this is my completely free gift to you. So head on over to myinnertiger.com/smoothie for an easy download. And I'll also tell you that it has all Amazon links to each of the ingredients that I use every single day. So head on over. Also, if you loved what you heard today, please rate and review this podcast on iTunes so I can keep the ball rolling. And finally, if you're not already, go follow me on Instagram @myinnertiger for more juicy goodness and inspiration. Can't wait to connect with you there. Now, my dear friend, go out into this world and create some magic. I will catch you on the next episode.